Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the annual meeting of the West Seattle Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for being here today. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
If you can't, the issue's probably on your end, so good luck with that. As you can see, am I still sharing my screen? Can you see? Wonderful. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome our Platinum members today, Dan Wiseman, Hughes Media Law Group, the Kinney, Kiewit. Thank you to our gold level members, Cornerstone Benefits Consulting Group, Duwamish Tribal Services, Home Street Bank West Seattle, Nucor Steel Seattle, the Port of Seattle, Quail Park Memory Care Residencies of West Seattle, Seattle Auto Licensing, South Seattle College, Staples Westwood Village, Verity Credit Union, and White Center Glass. Since our last luncheon on December 14th, we have lots of new members. So shout out to Claire Seitz of Coldwell Banker Bain, College Hunks Hauling Junk and Moving, CrossFit West Seattle, Lori Cantu with Fidelity National Title, Gardenine Containers, Hit Lab Fitness Studio, LD Techniques, Minuteman Press West Seattle, Nadira Productions, Rain City Clay, and Wend Jewelry. First up, I would like to introduce our newly inducted into the past chair position, Dan Austin. Dan, would you like to take it away?
I would love to talk about some successes from last year. Do you have them in the screen? There we go. So last year obviously was challenging, coming out of a really challenging year leading into that. Great time to jump in as the board chair. So it was really great. I think I don't know why this is at the bottom of the list, but I would have to say that one of the biggest successes of last year was bringing on Whitney as our executive director. So if we can all give a little love right there. Nomley, who's no longer on the board, helped with that, taking on that hiring committee, and everyone who served on it, Don and Sandy and Pete and many others. I just can't see their faces right now. Thanks for your time in that. I think that was a huge direction setter for the chamber, and a good chunk of the reason we have these numbers here in front of us. 60 new chamber members in 2021 in a pandemic is pretty darn amazing. We worked really hard with the city and got $100,000 neighborhood economic recovery grant, which will be being spent over the next year or two, with some really great ideas for outreach into new communities that we commonly haven't worked with historically. Some business reactivation grants, grants to be able to help people get sidewalk, like streeteries and retail done, permitted through the city. A lot of great things coming out of that. We got another $18,854 grant from the Association of Washington Businesses and a $500 Rethink grant, waste grant for waste management, which will be used to make sure that I believe it's for the luncheon at the port, will be zero waste next year. So yeah, good stuff there. Government advocacy issues. We worked hard on West Marginal Way bike path construction being paused until businesses were actually consulted on what that would do to the industrial area down there. Washington Cares Fund, long-term healthcare fund, that was a big concern. I don't know if you saw in the news just how often that wasn't well written. So they've paused that. I think it's getting officially signed in the next couple of days. That's been pushed back as they work out a lot of issues that were wrong with the program. On top of that, I think we've had great engagement with the city in general. And the work that we've done on the West Seattle Bridge and the lower bridge access was really a big win for restaurant and retail. We tried to expand that bigger, but that's where SDOT cut it off. But it was another good win for us. We produced 11 luncheons, 10 networking events, 4 community events, 2 Seattle Public Utility Adopt a Street cleanups, 1 chamber hosted candidate debate with a couple of candidates, and 1 Bigfoot movie premiere, which I never thought I would say in a recap for the West Seattle Chamber, but it was a lot of fun. We've increased the number of followers in the chamber from Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So people are seeing the impact that we're putting out there, which was a big goal for us. We've connected with other Seattle chambers and West Seattle organizations to really strengthen the relationships that we have to amplify the voice of the businesses of West Seattle. And not on here, or maybe it's down later, but I just want to make sure we say it, financially, coming out of a pandemic where we in 2020 had concerns about how much money was going away. We had a very, very solid financial year, which made up for anything previous and put us in one of the better footholds I've ever seen our budgets look like. Through a lot of cutting of expenses and taking care of the bottom line. There. Is that Beth going to take that one, or is that?
Beth can talk about it if she wishes. Beth Percival, our treasurer, designed these pie charts specifically for us. So we're going to marvel at how nice they look and how accurate they are, because I don't want to do any math. So thank you, Beth, so much. If you'd like to chime in and tell us about the chart specifically, you can. I can't see you on the screen. I'm not sure if you're just.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Great.
Yes, so we can see from here, the bulk of our revenue does come from our membership. Thank you to our membership. We were able to do some very successful fundraising events this year, both virtual and live. And, the grants and donations that we received obviously will help us going forward. But our chamber is very healthy.
Awesome. Thank you, Beth.
And that is not something a lot of chambers can say. A lot of chambers closed in 2020 or 2021. And so the support from the membership to keep us going. I mean, if you look at the revenue, it's 58% membership fees. And that is the support of the business community and the new folks who have joined us and our long-term members that have really kept us healthy. And I hope that everyone's feeling that we've been providing the programming and the advocacy and work that was necessary to earn the right to get your membership. So thanks to all of the general membership, everybody involved. Just thank you so much for supporting the chamber.
100%. And then I skipped over the membership numbers. We're just going to go back to who our members are. And Dan, these are your slides still.
Yeah. So there's a couple of, we've always done really well with like finance and insurance. We've always done business and professional services. I have to say the restaurant, food and beverage grew dramatically last year. A lot of that around the low bridge policies that we were able to help with. But we've grown the membership base. We're getting more diverse as a chamber, which is great. It used to be a lot of real estate and businesses networking, and now we've kind of turned it in with more advocacy. We've been able to reach out and grab other groups to come and join us, as they didn't need the networking as much as they needed someone to speak up for them when it came to policy. So it's been great to get into that mode where we're doing both, because it's drawing in new members that previously didn't see the value in the chamber as much for their business. So we started out, wait, if we go to the next slide.
There it is.
The end of 2019, we had 231 businesses. End of 2020, we had 190. We ended with 205. That 2019 number is a little misleading because the members who had not paid in 2019 and should have been dropped weren't dropped in time from some previous stuff. So that number was not as giant as a drop as it looked like. It was kind of peanut buttered more between the two. But to come out with 205, like 200 has always been a really goalish number for us to make sure we're over 200 members. And Andrew, that's funny. Thanks for your comment. The member to have us over 205 at the end of 2021, plus more members who have joined in the last few weeks. It's just great. Our membership continues to grow. And as I used to end the meetings with, we're only as strong as our membership. And if you know anyone who could use our help, or someone you think would be fun to hang out with on Zoom or eventually in person again, bring them to a chamber meeting. Like let's get them involved, and let's keep growing this membership. Next slide. And we can go past that one. And this is a big day for me. I get to introduce you to my vice chair and now the board chair of 2022 for her second round as the president of the board here with the West Seattle Chamber, Dawn Leverett.
Thank you, Dan. I'm excited to be doing my second stint on the West Seattle Chamber Board and second stint as president. I joined the board back in 2002. I'm sorry, joined the chamber in 2002, and then became a member of the board soon after that, served as president in 2007. Then I stepped away and went to Arts West and spent 8 years there on their board, an organization that's near and dear to my heart. And here I am back and excited to be back. So Whitney, what's
Next slide.
Next slide. And I'm excited to work with some fantastic people as well on the board. We have as my vice chair, we have Lindsay Wolpa. She's with Northwest Seaport Alliance. You heard from our treasurer, Beth Percival, with Edward Jones. Abby Fisher is our board secretary with White Center Glass, and Dan, fantastic past chair, with Peel and Press. Next slide. And we have Sandy Adams, who's here representing Arts West, Claiborne Bell with Seattle Sorbet, Ken Bowden with Nucor Steel, Lauren Bergen is the ambassador chair, chair of the Ambassador Committee with Law Offices of Lauren Bergen. We have Brian Callanan with Loop de Loop, Our Lady of Guadalupe. We have Miss Amy Lee Darenthal, who's the co-chair of our Community Connectors Committee, and she's the lead of the ED of the Senior Center of West Seattle. Connor Forbeck is our Marketing Committee Chair, and he's with Sound Painting Solutions. Candy Jennings Malloy with Tom's Automotive, and Melina Zamaloa with Zamaloa Industries, who's also a community co-chair. So I want to thank all of you guys so much for serving. And of course, we have Whitney Moore, our Executive Director Extraordinaire, and Bianca Tomka, who does so much for us. She's our support and does so much behind the scenes.
And then this is her dog, Dolly. Dolly just wanted to make sure that she got the recognition that she deserves. So that's Dolly on the right.
Yay, Dolly.
Okay, next slide. There you go.
So what's next for our chamber in 2022? Sorry, well, thank you. So we plan to facilitate opportunities for members to have contact with local elected representatives. We try to do that as often as possible. In fact, our February meeting is going to be with SDOT talking, or with, I'm sorry, Sound Transit. So be sure and register for that. We intend to inform and educate our members on governmental issues as often as possible. We expand and upgrade our benefits for our memberships. That's one of our goals. To improve our membership retention and recruitment, as Dan said, we're only as strong as our members. To establish new marketing opportunities for our members and grow our social media reach. To update our printed community resource guide and create an accompanied digital component. And Connor's committee is hard at work on that, doing a fantastic job. We want to recruit new volunteers for our 6 chamber committees. We're going to have an opportunity to talk about that next. And we want to establish collaborative relationships with chambers and associations with similar goals.
And I can talk about this one really quick.
Yeah, Whitney's going to take it away for the economic recovery grant.
Woohoo! Government paperwork. We were awarded a $100,000 grant from the City of Seattle Office of Economic Development. So where we're funneling that money to is outlined here. Adding a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee to our organization to make sure that we're reaching out to populations that we haven't been able to thus far. And part of that outreach is creating new collateral and implementing translation services. So we're truly integrating and truly reaching populations that we haven't been able to. Utilizing our resources, that's how we're implementing outreach. We're doing it strategically with the Department of Neighborhoods. We're working on developing a Visit West Seattle mobile app to promote businesses, events, and sightseeing, trying to increase our foot traffic here in West Seattle. We'll be creating collateral with updated resources in multiple languages, hosting quarterly community roundtables in different districts to connect underrepresented populations with elected officials. This is in addition to the programming that we already do with business education and networking events. Producing free business workshop series to assist with a variety of topics. Partnering with consultant to offer permitting support to retailers and restaurants who'd like to expand outside of their business and onto the sidewalk or into the street. And partnering with local nonprofits to produce a public community space activation event. So those are some of the high-level grant projects and the ways that we're spending $100,000. Quick member benefit highlights. As chamber members, there are many benefits, and I just want to remind you that you get a 20% discount in stores at Staples on your print marketing and 10% on purchases. Some exclusions apply. I've been told that you can't go in and buy 10 tablets and get 10% off of all of those or all of the technology, but there are many things that you can buy with your 10% discount, 20% marketing discount. Constant Contact, you get 25% off there even if you're an existing user. We do have a free notary public. You just make an appointment and we can make that happen for you in the office. If you're a small business with less than 15 members, you can have a free reciprocal membership with the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce downtown. You can, if you have any job openings, you can post those on our job board. You can put all of your events on our calendar. Member to member deals are exclusive deals that are just for chamber members from chamber members. You can post as many as you would like at any time. You have the ability to host after hours networking events at your location. Then those are reserved for chamber members only. And then you can share your events and updates on our social media accounts. So if you tag us in something or you send me the content and you want it in a newsletter, we can make that happen. And then as a side note, did you know if you wanted to pay for your membership monthly rather than all at once, that's a simple thing that Bianca can set up for you. And also, is your member directory profile up to date? Is it the right phone number? Has your address changed? Have you moved? Are all the photos up to date? Do you have photos at all? Is your description accurate? Do you offer new services? So you can take a look at your member directory profile. And if you don't have access to your profile, we can send you a link for, like, say you're new to your business and you can edit all of that as much as you would like. So that's your quick member benefit update. Are we ahead of schedule? I can't even see. Oh my gosh, we are so quick. We are so fast. Was it too fast? Should we do it again? Should we just do it and just see if we can do it better this time? Where are we on that? Maybe not. Okay. So if you'd like, right now we're going to have some breakout sessions. Ignore the times here. And we have 6 opportunities for you to volunteer with the chamber and in your community. You can find out more about each of these in the specific breakout rooms. Beth, are we good on breakout rooms? Oh, look at this.
Hey,
Wow.
Whitney, I was wondering, can we just check and see if there's any questions on the presentation because we are ahead of time? And see
I
if
love
we-
it. Let's take 15 minutes of questions so that we're right on time. I'm just kidding. If there are any questions about successes from 2021, goals for 2022, grant projects, or member benefits, you can drop those in the chat. You can raise your hand with the little hand raise icon, or you could unmute yourself and ask directly. Okay, while we're waiting for questions, I just want to give a shout out to Bruce at True Value Junction True Value Hardware for the photo that you did after Christmas wearing the Christmas lights. Just really liked that work. I like more content like that from my local hardware store. Just a quick shout out. Looks like we have a question in the chat. Is there an overview of committees so we can better decide which breakout room to attend? Absolutely. And I'll say that in just one moment. Someone has a hand raised. Did it go down?
Brian Callahan.
Hit it, Brian. What do you got?
I had a question just with regard to that grant. There was that big list of all the things we are doing. Are all those measures or things, are those in action right now, and people are heading them up and whatever else?
Not yet, no. We're still doing the paperwork. Federal grants are real fun. They're really
right.
great time. And if anybody else would like to join me in how much fun the paperwork is, that would be cool. But it's a newer grant, so the city is also still figuring out how it'll work. So when we get a giant check for 100 grand, it'll be great. And I can give you
Awesome.
progress updates at our upcoming luncheons.
Thanks. There's another
Alice.
question in the chat, yeah.
Alice raised
Yeah.
her hand.
My question was also about, I think it was the last item on the grants list.
Yes.
And it didn't, something about active space.
So the federal grant didn't want to say that we were doing events. And you can't say marketing, those are bad words to the federal government. So you have to call it a public space activation. So it's going to be an event, but don't call it that.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so
So Alice, the thought on that is that we're gonna do in a neighborhood, and it looks like Admiral was the one that we'd put forward. We're gonna do a kind of a community festival or some sort of event, some activation in that neighborhood, because Morgan Junction has a festival. Obviously the Junction has its giant summer fest, and so we're trying to find ways to get people that haven't been able to get into West Seattle because the bridge has been broken, and reactivate business districts, and that's where we're starting with. So we'll do an event and get people back onto the streets, work with the restaurants, being able to do sidewalk seating for that, bringing local vendors in from that neighborhood, maybe setting up stuff for them there to just reintroduce themselves to the community as we start to come out of this pandemic. And especially with the bridge reopening, people coming back into West Seattle for the first time in a long time. And so I think there's goals to do more of those in with some different ways as well. But that's what we're trying to do, is to bring a spark back to businesses. And that's what this is about. Pete?
Yeah, will any of that money be able to be used for any of the reopening of the bridge festivities that are being that there's another community committee that's being formed? Will any of that money be able to be used for any of that?
We had to submit to the city what it was being used for.
yeah,
So-
so this proposal was written back in August, so potentially not, because it's all been earmarked. So it might incidentally align. So with the update to the community resource guide and that being able to be rolled out in summer, it's like the printing of that is being covered. So that rolling out at the same time as the opening of the bridge, that's, those are symmetrical, but being able to divert funds to like maybe the timing of the public activation event could work, but us ourselves are not a fiscal agent for the federal dollars to give money to the committees that will be doing the work for the reopening of the bridge. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think what I was trying to say is, will any of the events be able to be scheduled to tie into the bridge reopening?
Yeah,
So not specifically doing them for the bridge reopening, but just doing, like having the Admiral event at the same time that the bridge reopening event is going on, to get some synergy of tying them together.
yeah, we're smart. We can make it. We can time it appropriately, and because that date isn't set for when our public activation event has to be. It just has to be sometime before or during 2023.
It just can't be part of the bridge reopening celebration because it's COVID recovery funds for business activation for business. So if they happen at the same time, we can't say there's synergy. It might just happen, but we can't say we're taking the money and now using it to celebrate a bridge reopening. So we can possibly make it fit in there if the government gets us the money in time.
Whitney, there's a question in the chat.
Yes, I see. So Janine asked, with the new diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative, is this a committee as well? Yes, it will be. We're just waiting until we employ an actual diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant, because a lot of organizations have performative equity work and say, hey, look, we check that off our list. We started a DEI committee. Aren't we great? But we want to be more genuine and authentic with how do we do this the right way. So that's not available as a committee yet, but we'll be working with a consultant to create that. And then there will be opportunities to volunteer there. Does that answer your
Yes.
question, Janine? Okay,
Yes, thank you, Whitney.
great. Are there any more questions? If not, I will go to Molly's question and we'll give an overview of the committees and then we'll go into breakout rooms. No questions. Okay. So we have our ambassador committee. Lauren, do you want to tell us what the ambassador committee is, or do you want me to say what it is?
Oh, I'm happy to talk about that.
Love
The
it.
Ambassador Committee is a group of members whose primary goal is to make new members to the chamber feel welcome and help them figure out how to get the most out of their membership and what that looks like for that member. Because for some members, it's going to events, some members it's sponsoring something, it all depends. And so the ambassadors focus on members who have joined within the previous 3 years, because that is the time period that people either engage with the chamber and get very involved, or they don't. And so we focus on the new members. That wasn't very coherent. Sorry, I wasn't prepared to give an overview so quickly.
Yeah, I didn't give Lauren any notice. Sorry. That's the ambassador committee. So if you'd like to build some more relationships and get to know other businesses in the chamber, that's a great committee for you. Amy Lee, do you want to talk about the Community Connections Committee?
Yeah, super happy to share this one. This is a pretty new committee, and it is really about thinking about the great business districts on the whole peninsula. And so not just talking about West Seattle, but this past year, we, identified, let's, connect with businesses down on Delridge, in White Center, in South Park. We have great, and even in the south end of West Seattle, we have some wonderful business districts. And so the goal this year, with the committee is to continue that work. And it's really, we're hoping to do some of those roundtables that you saw as part of that grant, to just listen. We have a strong chamber here. Are there things that we're already doing that would work in their business districts? But really, it's the reach out to building relationships. And maybe, a networking event isn't the thing that works, but some kind of other type of luncheon or breakfast, or just listening to these business districts so that we can strengthen the business districts across the entire peninsula. So it's also getting into diversity and equity as we think about what works for our West Seattle chamber. How do we expand to neighborhoods that maybe they bring some new ideas to us and ways to build up their communities and to be a part of the chamber. So we would love to have you join us. I've got Melina as my co-chair, and we meet once a month, and hopefully in person and outside. That's us.
Awesome. Dan or Lindsay, would you like to talk about our Government Advocacy Committee?
Dan has requested that I jump in here. Hello, everybody. Lindsay Wolpa, Dan and I co-chair the Government Advocacy Committee. It's pretty much as it sounds. It's our opportunity to advocate for West Seattle Chamber members' needs with our various government partners. Of course, as we're a smaller chamber, we focus on the local front of this in the city of Seattle, but where we have the opportunity to plug into Olympia issues or even federal ones, although that's a little bit more challenging because it's a bigger scope. But especially this coming year with a new mayoral administration, we have some exciting opportunities. And with a new council member that's already expressed interest, some of you may have joined us for our lunch and learn back in December, where we had Sarah Nelson join us to talk about her work with the city. And so it's sort of finding opportunities to both understand what's happening on the government side of things and advocate for our members' needs. And so come chat more with me and Dan, and we'll tell you more about it, why we're a fun group and how we're going to be even more fun in 2022.
Thank you, Lindsay. Awesome. Connor, would you like to talk about marketing?
I'd love to. So in the marketing committee, we're really focused on two primary functions. One would be serving our members through, attracting them, retaining them, kind of understanding like what the most they can get out of, everything that has to do with the chamber, and then like what we're doing in the chamber. But then on the other side, it's the community, engaging with like why you should join the chamber, what it's about, what the business community in West Seattle is all about, and why it's important that you come here. And this is just done through tons of different mediums like social media, print, different campaigns that we're focusing on. So we would love a couple members, so feel free to come by.
Thank you, Connor. Beth, do you want to talk about the excitement that is the Finance Committee, by far the most riveting of all of the committees?
I feel like you keep picking on me, but Finance Committee, we are reviewing the monthly financials, working with Whitney and our accountant to make sure that things are properly recorded, classified, working with special events to make sure we're tracking sponsorships versus ticket sales, and reviewing our overall budget each year to make sure that we're staying on track.
Finance is secretly my favorite, but I'm trying to downplay it by making fun of math. It's fun. If anybody likes numbers.
The good thing is the finance committee shouldn't be exciting, because if it is, something's going bad probably. So we want it to be a very, very chill committee. Just excitement about growth numbers.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Positive excitement.
Absolutely. Thank you, Beth. For special events, Joan, would you like to talk about the events that you guys produce?
Sure. My name is Joan Cahill, and my membership is on behalf of the West Seattle Garden Tour. And a little plug, we do plan to hold an in-person tour this year. Yay.
Yay.
June 26th, as long as all goes according to plan. Anyway, the Special Events Committee is responsible for managing 3 to 4 special events per year that generate income. The next one that we have coming up is the awards breakfast. We are hoping to do that in person, and in the process of getting proposals from 2 different venues. We may go to a hybrid event. We're not sure yet. It all depends on COVID and how things go along with that. The next event is a Cruise for Commerce, which last year we moved into August. We plan to do that again this year, just because the weather was so much better than September than it has been in previous years. And it was a huge success last year. And then, of course, Mix, Mingle, and Jingle, which we have in December. Hopefully we can hold that in person as well. We're looking to add a 4th event, which we used to do in the past, a wine tasting event in the summer. That's very much in the preliminary stages. We are hoping to get a couple of new members that really have specialties in design work. When Paul Prentice left West Seattle and the committee, a lot of that work has fallen back on Whitney or Bianca. So we would love to have somebody that just has that creative mind. Myself and Mary Jean Stevens are both have had a career in the events and meeting planning department. So we love supporting the Special Events Committee and making exciting and fun events for everybody.
Thank you, Joan.
Sure.
So our rooms are Ambassador, Community Connections, Government Advocacy, Marketing, Finance, and Special Events. Beth, are we able to go into our rooms now? Do I just have to hit open all rooms?
Yes, we do. I've opened the room. Oh,
I won't touch anything. Okay, great.
rooms
And
are
so
open.
if people go to the bottom, they can join a room. Perfect. Ambassador, Community Connections, Government Advocacy, Marketing, Finance, and Special Events. Yes, Brian, it is like a choose your own adventure. Wonderful. And away everyone's going.
It's fun that we can see where everybody's going. Who's going where?
I agree.
I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, but maybe I am. One at a time?
Where am I supposed to be seeing this?
So at the bottom of your screen, there should be a breakout rooms category. Or I don't know what kind of device you're on, but where all of your controls are, there should be a breakout rooms icon. And then
I'm still bit.
I found it. I've found it.
Yes. So
My computer's toolbar was covering it.
yeah, wherever your controls are, where your chat bar is, where your reactions button is.
Oh, got it. Breakout rooms.
Breakout rooms. And then you see a list and you can join.
Got it.
I
Okay.
don't see it, but I think maybe my Zoom isn't updated or something.
Whitney, you can manually assign, I believe, if you go into the
Or
in
Beth.
Beth
Yeah.
is on that.
Do our remaining members need some help getting to breakout rooms?
Claire, where would you like to go?
Help. Special events committee, please.
Okay, Claire. special
I
event.
feel like a baby. Thank you.
No problem.
Would it be under invite?
Sandy, where do you want to go?
I want to go to ambassadors.
Okay. Sending you there.
Thank you.
Linda, how about you? Oh, you're on mute.
Hi, sorry. I'm looking right now. Sorry. I don't know. I could do either like community connections, marketing, or special events, or government, because that's what I do every day. So it's kind of hard to choose. Which committee needs the most help?
Marketing and special events both need help.
Okay. Out of the two, which one needs the most help?
Probably marketing.
Okay, I will go there. Thank you.
And I'm gonna save the screenshot of what room everybody went into
Oh, okay.
Good
Good.
idea.
so that I can follow up with people. Gosh, it's so, man, Zoom is, it just, it's like, okay, sharing screen plus trying to take a screenshot. It's not very user friendly. Okay,
I just grabbed it. Do you want me to send it to you?
perfect. Yeah, thank you. I can only get half of it. Okay, don't save that. Great. Okay, I'm gonna pop into the special events committee, I think.
Where should I pop into? I don't know where to pop into.
Well, you're on the GAC, right?
Yeah.
You can chat with them, or you can hang out here. It's whatever you want. We're pretty good on time. We're kind of right at our agenda. And I'll just show you the end of our, this is the last slide is member announcements, then social media. So this is just when people come back, they can say what they're doing. I'll run through what we've got coming up, and then I'll leave it on this screen for the ending. So people, that's it.
Perfect.
So that's what we have there. And now I'm nervous. If I leave, what I can come back, right?
Yeah. If you leave, you can leave the breakout and come back. I was all by myself in finance committee. So
I was going to join you.
I can stay here in the main room. So if somebody needs help getting back to another session.
Are you still recording, Whitney? Do you want to pause at this point?
Oh, where can I? Okay, hold on. Stop video. There we go. Oh, wait, no, that's not recording. That's where does that even? The top, it's usually at the top right, but it's not there right now.
I think I just stopped it.
It didn't make the announcement.
It's still showing recording to me.